Welcome to the first episode of Anythingbut925. I'm Kevin Croly.
And I'm Emily Boss, and today we talk to Kev's wife, Katy, where we discuss how she fell into the eBay business and the ups and downs of owning your own business and going it on your own. Katy, take it away. Today I have a very special guest. It's my co-host's wife, Katy Croly, and
Hi.
and she's going to be talking about her 9-to-5 job. So, Katy, what did you previously do before you did this 9-to-5 job?
Basically, I was a personal injury specialist. I dealt with road traffic accidents. If you were injured in a road traffic accident, would claim against the other side to get you money for that. So, ambulance chaser, I think sometimes people would call it.
Oh, that sounds like a real joy.
Do you know what? It started off fine. It was good, and I've kind of fell into that. When it started off dealing with in an actual insurance company, moved to a solicitor's, a lawyer's office, and so it was good 15 odd years I was doing it. I worked my way up, and over the years it slowly got less and less interesting. That's the thing. There's only so much that you can do, and there's only so many different accidents that are going to happen, and only so many different things that are going to come up or crop up or whatever, but it paid the bills, so can't complain.
Yeah, from coming from a past of insurance myself, it seems interesting in the beginning, and then it just gets really heavy and boring after a while.
Exactly, that's it.
So can you sum up for me exactly what your 9-to-5 job now is?
Well, that's quite easy. I sell on eBay. Anything and everything. It's a lot of different things that are involved in it. I think people think it's quite simple. You go out and you buy something and you put it on eBay and it sells, but you've got the sourcing and you've got the listing and the taking of the photographs and everything like that as well. So it's quite interesting, and it's very different from what I did before.
And what was so appealing about making this your 9-to-5 job?
The flexibility, I think, is the main thing. We've got a kid and she's still in primary school at the moment, and when I first left the job that I was in, I was quite directionless. I didn't know what to do. I'd been there for ages. For the few years before that, at the end of the day, I wasn't happy, and I wanted to try and find something that I could do from home that was flexible around Cameron, that was flexible around Kevin as well, to be honest with you, because, he needs help and everything. And I kind of fell into this. It was something Kevin suggested. He'd been watching YouTube videos and various people that would do it and everything, and he kept saying things like, you should really try this. Why don't you try this? How about just try it? And he wore me down and wore me down and wore me down until eventually I went, fine, I'll just try it. And then you put something on eBay and it sells, and you're like, wow, that's actually really good, and that's really easy to do. I might as well try and do this. So, nowadays I can get up at 7 o'clock in the morning to do my packages, make everyone's breakfast, drop Cameron off at school at 9 o'clock, go to the gym, come back and start work properly, and then I'm still available to pick Cameron up on the days that I need to pick her up from school at 3 o'clock. On the days that I don't need to, then I can work all the way through to 5, 5:30. And then once she's home, I can make dinner. And then after dinner and everything, I can still do another couple hours if I want to. So obviously it's not 9 to 5. That's the whole point of the podcast. But it's really good that I can do that. And I can start at 7 o'clock. I can wake up at 6 o'clock if I want to, and I can do my work. And then that's an hour or two out of the way. And then I can go and do other things and come back to it later on.
Yeah, that sounds actually like a real nice dream job.
I mean, don't get me wrong. At the end, I'm not making the same money that I would have done before. But then we don't have the same expenses that we would have done before. Cameron's not in after school, which was a big expense. I don't have to worry about buying work clothes, which I know you don't think about. But I'm sitting in my jammies if I want to, or my gym clothes. I don't have to buy separate clothes for that. I've maybe got 2 pairs of jeans which rotate. I don't have to go out for lunches. You don't have to put in money to everyone's birthday, and you don't have to buy Christmas presents. I mean, that sounds terrible, doesn't it? But it all starts to add up. And it's just things like that. And I'm there to make, as I said before, help Kevin. I'll make his lunch so he's not going out for lunch and things like that as well. So there's so many different expenses that I don't have to worry about now and things like that. And you do find when you have to, that you can go through your bills and everything and you strip it right back to what you really need, and you don't miss the things. I don't actually miss not having Virgin TV that I might have been desperate for before, because I don't need to sit in front of the TV. I don't have to come home and switch off or anything and just watch mindless rubbish. So it's certainly good.
So now, because this has become your 9 to 5 job, does it still seem like a job though? Even though you're like, oh, I have to wake up at 6 a.m. and package up everything.
It has its ups and its downs. Yes, things like that, I can't be bothered with. I hate having to do the packages and things like that. It's the mundane work, and it can be a bit repetitive and things like that. But at the same time, would I rather be doing that or getting up at 6 o'clock or 6:30 and getting ready to go out to work anyway? So, I've got to weigh up the pros and cons. It can, yeah, every job has its moments. This one, yes, it has its moments, but at the end of the day, I can then take a break and go out and do something. I can then, maybe go to the gym, or I can go for a swim and come back to it later on feeling refreshed. Whereas if you're sitting in an office, staring at a computer screen for 8 hours, 8 hours a day, you can't do that. You're stuck there and you're bored. And if you can't take that break that you need, you're slowly getting worn and worn down, which, well, I suppose people do enjoy. They do want to go out and work and everything, and still enjoy that, but I'm just not sure if I could ever go back to it.
Yeah, making your own hours is definitely probably a very positive of starting your own business.
Yeah, well, that's it. That's what I've got to remember, is when it does kind of grind you down and you do kind of fall out of love with it, there is that, making my own hours, I enjoy a lot of it, and I've just got to remember that when you're doing the boring stuff. That's what you need to remember, is we're doing the boring stuff so we can do the interesting stuff later on.
And so what sort of, I know what you sell on your eBay store because I've looked at it a number of times. Now, now when you sell things, do you sell them internationally, or is it primarily within Scotland or Europe?
I think it is primarily within Britain that things will go out to. I do have global shipping on my eBay account, which is something that eBay offer. Basically, if there is someone else somewhere in the world that wants to buy it, I think there are certain countries excluded, but I'm not sure which countries they are, to be honest. eBay will show the buyer what the costs of global shipping are. They can be quite expensive, but all that happens is I package the item, I send it to eBay's warehouse in the UK. They then send it on to the buyer. So I don't need to worry about having to figure out costs to America or costs to Australia or anything like that. eBay do all that for you. But the problem with that is, like I said, I think the costs can be quite restrictive. They can be quite high in some cases. But I don't want to have to take the time to sit and figure it out. So,
well, that's brilliant. I had no idea that you shipped it to an eBay sorting place and they did it.
Yeah, I know they do. They have it in Britain. They have it in America. I don't know if they have it in Canada. They probably do, because Canada's quite a big country as well. They won't do it. I don't think they'll probably do it in every single country, but they certainly do it in quite a few.
That's really awesome. So Now,
Yeah.
is there something that you wish you'd known when you first started out, or is there any advice for other people who are looking to get into being an eBay seller?
I don't think there's anything I wish I'd known when I started out. I've learned everything as I went, and I think sometimes that's the best thing to do. I think there are a lot of people out there that will, want to know everything from the start, and you can't. That's the thing. It's like any job. You're going to learn as you go. Well, probably got quite a lot of advice about for other people, starting out. But the one piece that I would have is that just go for it. Put something on eBay, try it out, list it, see what happens. That's all you can do. There's no big secret to it. There's no big, you know, thing that you have to do. You just need to pop it on and see how you go. I've been trying to teach Cameron actually how to sell on eBay so she can sell all her old wee things. So I've got an account for her, just specifically for her, and we can put all her old things on it and sell them, as she wants to and things. So she sold a wee, I can't remember if it was Bratz or some sort of doll for £30 a couple of months ago. So now she wants to put everything on, but I'm too busy trying to do all my work to do hers.
And so, where do you find most of your items that you sell on your eBay store?
It's car boot sales and charity shops are the main ones. Car boot sales, I think, are they flea markets or something in America? I don't
It'd
know
be
about
like
Canada.
a garage sale or thrift stores.
Garage sale. Yeah. So there's a big massive one in Glasgow that we go to on a Sunday when I can be bothered getting up in time. And that one's quite good. It's in Blockhairn, which is it's a fish market normally during the week, and then it changes into a car boot sale at the weekend, which is quite good. But you can pick stuff up for cheap. Most of the people that are going to car boot sales are trying to get rid of the stuff that they don't want, and they're not, they can't be bothered to sit on eBay and put it on and list it and things like that. So you can get some good deals. Charity shops as well, but it's just a timing thing. That's the thing. Car boot sales are only on at certain times, so I can go then. Then obviously charity shops are open a wee bit more, so that's quite good. There's also something that's called retail arbitrage. Did I just say that properly? Retail arbitrage, which is basically if you're, in your supermarket or whatever, and something's on sale, and you think, oh well, check the price of that on eBay. Then you check the price, you find out it's selling for, triple the price. So you just buy everything that's on sale and then pop it on eBay. So she can do as well, but that can be a bit of a risk depending on how much things are. I think, oh God, a couple of years ago, they were selling these wee dart things that I don't know what guns they went in. They were like Nerf darts. And they were selling them for 33p a packet. So I just bought everything that was in the store and sold them. So I made quite a good profit on that. I think I made about £200 in that, which wasn't bad. And then another time in River Island, they were selling all their shoes off for about 50p. So I bought all the shoes, and again, I think pretty much all of them are sold now. I think there's one pair left or something, but I made a good amount of money in that as well. So it's keeping your eye out for things and, thinking about it and having the money there, making sure you've got the money to invest in things like that as well.
Was there something that you failed in the beginning that you wish you knew about before you started?
Something I failed.
Or something that seemed challenging in the beginning
No.
that you felt you had to overcome in the beginning, or you realized that it was a little bit harder than you thought in the beginning, like you'd have to put so much more work into it?
This might sound daft, but postage. I thought, I went with whatever eBay said on postage, and I remember, and I can't remember what it was. I think it was a pair of roller skates or something. I put them on at postage of £3, I think. And when I went to sell them, they were over 2 kilograms. And I ended up having to pay £20, I think, in postage or something like that. So after that, it seems like a lot. Well, obviously, it is a lot of money, and I think I ended up losing a lot of money in that because I think the skates themselves were about £5. But it was my fault. That's the thing. And now I use the Royal Mail postage service. I use different courier services as well. I use UPS and DPD and things like that. I know the prices. If I look, if I'm looking at a tea set now, I know that it's probably going to cost about £8 to send it. So I can charge £8 postage and packing, or I can build that into the price that I'm selling it at. So I think I made quite a few mistakes when it came to that, and it's something that I wish I kind of looked into a wee bit more before I'd started listing things. But you live and learn.
Yeah, that's exactly my problem here in Canada too. I don't know what it's like in Scotland, but in Canada, just sending something across the country is like $16. I sent like a pair of slippers to Texas and it cost $16.
Oh no. And you're like, what's the point? That's the thing. You're like, you don't understand how people would buy things and pay that postage as well, but I suppose they do. But it's so ridiculous that, especially as when, but to be fair here, I don't know if it's the same there. Postage will be the same from Glasgow to London as it is from Glasgow to Edinburgh, which is, hundreds of miles difference. But then we're a smaller country, so I know, like, I think it's in America and stuff, they'll charge more the further and further you go. So I've no idea how they can figure out postage and things like that.
Well, shipping within the US is so much cheaper than shipping within Canada. Like
That's it.
if I lived in the States and I wanted to ship something, say, from New York to California, would be less expensive than, say, if I wanted to ship it from Ontario to BC. It's just insane. Our shipping prices are ridiculous.
Oh, do you know, I think I heard that somewhere. Is like people that live close to the border will actually just pop over to America to buy their postage and pack postage there and send it there rather than in Canada.
Yeah, I'm a big collector of enamel pins, and whenever I buy them, I always send them to my husband's aunt who lives in Florida, and then she just brings them up because she can just toss them in her bag, and her husband's always back
And then just bring them up.
So it's brilliant. So I'm very lucky to have that option. But yeah, there's a lot of postal services in the States. I used to actually do it before Amazon.ca became big. Amazon.com, I would buy things on Black Friday and get them shipped to a shipping place in Buffalo, New York, which is relatively close to the border, and it'd be way cheaper for shipping. Even paying the exchange was nothing compared to how much the shipping would be to send it to Canada.
It's nuts, isn't it?
It's ridiculous. They gouge you. So what are your goals for the future in regards to your business?
Goals is I want to build it up. I want to build it up to a stage where it's sustainable throughout the year. It can be quite difficult at the moment, especially in the summer months when I've got Cameron, she's off school. So I'm not making as much just now as I would do during other months. So I want to be able to increase that so that it's sitting at a reasonable amount per month during the summer months as well as the winter months. And I want to, well, at the moment it's paying for, wee bit extras and things like that. And I want to actually be a proper salary that comes in. And that's really all I'm looking for is, it's more financial security. And it's certainly brought us that. I can't complain about that, but I'm just looking for a wee bit more so that, we are set and we don't have to worry as much as we might do, if the car breaks down or something like that.
Yeah, exactly. And do you find that the longer you're in it, like the longer you've been doing the business, that you're getting more out of it? Like mentally for yourself, just feeling a lot better waking up in the morning doing this job?
Yes, definitely. I mean, honestly, when I left the job that I was in, I was so down, so depressed about everything that was going on and stuff, and it was a real struggle actually. And nowadays, just doing this job, it's such a weight off everything. I'm my own boss. I'm not having to worry about other people. I'm not having to, I can set my own hours. if people are rude to me or whatever on eBay, then I can block them. I'm not having to worry about a manager who's saying you can't do that and things like that. So it's so much easier. Life is so much different, so different to what it was before. I think I'm a lot calmer. I think Kevin's happier. Cameron's definitely happier having me there, so can't complain.
Yeah, and it must be nicer, so if she's sick at school, you can just rush out and grab her. You don't have to worry about being like,
exactly.
Can I leave, please?
Exactly. Well, that's it. Exactly. That's happened a few times.
So do you miss having coworkers at all?
Yes, I do. That's one thing that I certainly couldn't. Well, no. It's not that I'm unhappy. It's not that I don't see people. You know, I'll go out to the gym and I'll chat to the people that are there, and it's the same classes I'm in every week, so you get to know the same people and everything. And I'll chat to Cameron's friends' parents and things like that. But there's not the same sort of camaraderie that you have before, and you're not, you know, you can't moan about the same things, and it's certainly different. It's a bit of a culture shock not to have people there, and not to bounce ideas off people as well. I can bounce ideas off Kevin, but there's only so much that he can to respond to during the day. But you know, you get used to it. You do. I do wish sometimes there was someone around here that was selling as well or something. We can meet up and chat about it. But you know, maybe that'll happen one day.
Yeah, maybe you'll meet some people through our podcast.
Well, that's it. Maybe.
Right, and now Kev sort of made me ask you this question. What is the weirdest question or interaction you've received in regards to your job or into your items that you're selling?
Oh, no weird questions at all. Oh, honestly, like, I sell shoes sometimes, and I made the mistake of modelling them sometimes. And every now and then, just as I'm looking at my phone, a wee query will pop up from eBay, and I'll go to check on it thinking this is great, this is going to be a sale. They just want me to answer a question, and it'll be something like, wow, your feet look great in those, and I'm like, oh, great. And every now and then I carry it on just to see how far I can push them, and I'll be like, thanks, why don't you buy the shoes? And they'll respond with, oh, I'll buy the shoes if you can wear them for a few days, take a few more photos, and do you mind if I could, you know, keep the photos? They'll just be for my own use and things like this. I'm like, oh goodness, that's no, just no.
What's your upsell price on those?
Yeah. So I'm like, well, if you buy the shoes, yeah, go for it.
Yeah, I'll wear them for a
But
week.
I've yet to have anyone buy them. So never mind. But yes, I certainly would not recommend, you know, modelling shoes on eBay. It can be interesting, but then sometimes I get the same questions in shoes that I've not modelled. So, but then they're like, "Can you model them?" And I'm like, "No, definitely not."
Yeah, that'd be uncomfortable.
Yes.
Definitely something that you wouldn't want to do regularly.
I'm sure if you ask Kevin, he can pull up some of the messages, because I always forward them on to him, and he spends a lot of time laughing at them.
Oh yeah, he's shown me a couple screenshots from
Yes.
They're creative.
Yes.
So, Katy, how can people find your website or contact you if they want to buy something from you?
Well, they can always message through yourselves. And I'm on eBay. My username on eBay is Katymaycreations. That's KatyMay, however you spell creations.
Creation.
Thank you. Yes, that's it.
And it's .co.uk, correct?
Oh, it's just on eBay. If you just search the username Katymaycreations, I'll pop up.
All right, fantastic.
But I'm not on a website.
Okay, that's awesome.
Although I do have Instagram and stuff like that, but again, I'm sure you guys can pop that on, because I have no idea what my name is. I probably should have looked that up.
I'm pretty sure it's
before.
Katymaycreations as well.
Yeah, something like that.
So also to our listeners, Katy is also our moderator. So if you get responses on Twitter or Facebook, it could be any one of us, but Katy is going to be monitoring it a lot herself. So
yes. So don't blame me for the rude messages, because that'll be them.
No, it's not us. But she's also listed on our website as the moderator. So if you'd like to learn more about Katy, actually, we should put a link to your website as well on the website. Tell Kev to do that, because I was having a problem in Canada trying to find it. I linked to it through your Instagram account, but actually looking up Katymaycreations didn't bring up anything. So there might be some blocking to that in Canada and North America. But if you live in the UK or Scotland, please give her a looky-loo and check out her shoes that she'll be modeling for you.
I'm gonna have to go model them all now.
We'll make a video and post it on our Instagram for your pleasure. And I want to thank Katy for being a guest on our very first episode. It was quite interesting. I actually had no idea how the eBay business worked, and I've learned quite a bit from her about the shipping to the eBay warehouse and how they're the ones that initially are the ones that ship it out to the consumer. So that's pretty interesting. Also, Kev, would you like to sort of expand on her random questions that she gets from customers?
Well, one of the things that you never ever get. Well, if you've been on the internet as long as most people these days, you realize that the internet is a place that kind of houses a whole manner of people. And while I've never looked at my wife's feet in any kind of sort of way of attraction, obviously there are clearly people out there who do. And it's given me a newfound appreciation for my wife's feet and ankles. But each to their own, I suppose, is what we would say. And that, I suppose nobody is getting hurt by this, except my feelings. But anyway, all of that.
And have you found a big change in your wife? Speaking of the partner of someone who's gone out on their own and started their own business, like, have you noticed a big change from when she worked in that regular 9-to-5 job?
Absolutely. The changes in her family life and has been incredible. She left obviously her job, and she thought that was all she was good for, was doing an office job, and I just knew that she could do something like an eBay reselling job or something like that, or I just knew that she would just be somebody that's such a driven force that she would be able to take to almost anything and make it work for her. And she has, so she's got a whole level of confidence, she's got a whole level of independence that I don't think many people could say in a 9-to-5 kind of role. And she's there, she's able to do it all now almost. She's a mother, she's a fantastic wife that kind of cooks me meals and keeps me alive and doesn't get, so I don't die of either malnutrition or vitamin deficiency. And she's there for Cameron, so it's really changed. One change of circumstances kind of been a massive change for all of us. So she's fantastic, and she inspires me every day.
Oh, that comes from a loving husband, folks.
Anybody with type 2 diabetes, I do apologize. I've probably just upped your blood sugar levels.
Anyway, so if you want to get in contact with Katy, you can contact her via any of our social media items, which is Anythingbut925. That's 925. So anythingbut925.com, or you can find us on Instagram, Twitter, and even Reddit. And if you have any questions for Katy, she moderates all of those. So you can send the questions directly to Katy if you have questions in regards to the eBay business, or you can contact her directly through her Instagram account, which is Katy, Katy_May, MAY, _creations. And on there is actually a link to her eBay store if you want to check it out and check out her modeling her beautiful shoes.
Those are at premium rate.
Thank you so much for listening. I'm Emily.
I'm Kevin.
Have a great day.
Bye.
Bye.